Hey everyone, back on Couch Reviews. Today we're doing something a little bit different. We're doing a documentary, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wish I had my movie friends with me because they might be able to help me with this review. Alright, let's just get into this documentary. The documentary is called The Problem with Apu. Okay, The Problem with Apu is a documentary based on a comedian named Harry Kondabolu, who has a huge issue with Apu because he believes that's become the default setting for how America sees South Asian Americans, i.e. Indian, Pakistani, Sri Lanka, all the countries in that region. And the documentary is actually really good. He goes out of his way to talk about, basically the documentary is he has an issue with Apu. He goes around interviewing fellow Indian actors who are currently either on shows, were on shows, or just in the acting community. And he does it rather well. You have famous comedians like Azar, you have Russell Peters in it. A lot of characters. He didn't get Mindy. I wish he would have got her, because it would have been interesting to see her, because she has actually one of the more longer running shows, even if it was pushed off of Fox. And his whole intent is to meet Hank Azaria, the voice actor behind Apu, and get an interview with him and talk about either getting rid of the character Apu or changing him into less of a stereotype. This documentary is shot as basically one interview after the other. He talks to the guy from Harold and Kumar. Like I said, he talks to Russell Peters and other Indian actors. And it's kind of profound how, as much as most people laughed at it, Simpsons has been on for about 28 seasons, 29, and it's not going away for like at least 2 more years. Hank Azaria is still being doing the voice work of Apu, but I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wish the story would have went more with what the actors were facing. As a fan of the show, I never really thought about how it can affect people, and that's one of the big takeaways of this movie, or this documentary. It's, you know, how many times have you run into a person of South Asian descent and said, "Thank you, come again," or did that accent, or something like that. Many of the South Asian actors would talk about how, well, did you want me to do this in the stereotypical Indian voice? Or, you know, they felt pressured to be fit into that stereotype. I also feel that this documentary fails in one point, because there's a scene where he's showing his parents, who are first generation immigrants from India, and they kind of really don't have an issue with Apus. They just look at it like, yeah, that's a stereotype, but we don't have a problem with it. So the main character, Harold, having this huge issue with it, I get that he's living in this time period, so it is affecting him, and trust me, there's nothing wrong with him having an issue with it. And I actually enjoyed this documentary a lot. Like, I've never thought about the repercussions of being portrayed as a stereotype. So it's pretty good in that sense. I also think that he fails to look at Apu's character arcs in a way. I do agree that he did focus on some of the stereotypes, like the fact that he gets a prearranged marriage, the fact that when he tries to have a kid, he has 8 of them. I get that, but I also feel like they skip over episodes like the whole immigration episode where he tried to be white he tried to be white just to stay an American. Or there's a couple of other episodes. I also felt that Whoopi Goldberg's place in this documentary felt a little bit out of place, i.e. she's not Indian. I mean, I know what she was there for, to basically talk about, you know, stereotypes and show off her collection of black stereotypes, and she actually does have that, which is kind of interesting. But I kind of felt like she wasn't there. A lot of his arguments are very valid though. I loved all the stuff with the interviews. That was really good. I like the fact that the guy from Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle was like, I don't watch The Simpsons anymore. I don't watch it because I can't separate Apu from The Simpsons. And that's kind of powerful, even though the main character and the director, Harold, has no problem watching The Simpsons. He loves The Simpsons. There's a little bit at the beginning where you see him in Simpsons land taking pictures with people wearing Homer costumes, Bart costumes. He's drinking Slurpee, I believe, or a soda. All that stuff, that's really good. The ending is also kind of funny. I'm not going to blow where the whole story leads to, because like I said, the whole story is about him trying to meet up with Hank Azaria so they can discuss the problem with Apu. Just watch it. I think this was on True TV. I just saw it on YouTube, so I'm going to have a link to it in the description box. Also, I'm going to have a link to a reviewer who I saw did this review and actually got me to watch this documentary by the name of Moviebob. His name will be in the description below, because he deserves credit, because he's the one who got me onto this documentary. I really liked it. It was kind of touching at times. There are a couple of times where I think he failed to acknowledge something, but at the same time, there's a lot of stuff that's good in here. I loved all the interviews. I think some of it could have been shot a little bit better, but it's definitely, go out of your way to watch. It's only 47 minutes. I think it was playing on True TV. Go out of your way to watch Apu. If I had to rate it, I'd give it an 8.5. It's really engaging. You kind of feel bad for some of the actors for having to play stereotypes. And it's just a good story about, you know, even if you, especially in this generation, even if you have a problem with a stereotype, doesn't mean you have to sit around and do nothing about it. Problem with Apu, go watch it. Later.